What's good, fellas? Welcome back to another episode of the Hoop Life Productions podcast. I'm Chance, here with my brother AJ.
Hey Chance, hey everybody, how you doing?
You know what? I'm just excited to get another episode in. You know what I'm
It's
saying?
been a while, man.
Yeah, we've been posting like once a week, but it's been probably 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks since we recorded.
We had some stalling. We went to Cleveland.
We did go to the Cleveland. We watched the NFL draft, and
Yeah.
then we watched the Cavs-Wizards game, unfortunately.
Yeah, for anyone listening, and the tickets are really cheap. They're cheap for a reason, man.
There were some available for like $11 when I was looking.
Yeah.
We thought about it, but then again, we wanted to actually have a sight of the game.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes me wonder where we were at. Where were the $11 seats at?
We had kind of a straightaway angle, but we were pretty high.
Yeah.
And AJ,
Hey,
this
man.
guy over here, took him a half hour to get to the
I'm
seat.
terrified of heights,
Because
man.
he's terrified of heights, so that
But
was kind of funny.
I got up there, but so yeah, that was the first reason for stalling, and then I was going to upload our next episode the other day, and for those who have gotten both of the vaccines, specifically the Pfizer for COVID, I got the second one a few days ago, and the first one didn't do anything to me. The second one, I had
Neither
me
did it to me.
in bed all day and felt like I had the virus. It was pretty bad. I'm doing better now, though.
So hopefully it's worth the long-term investment and
Yeah.
not that one day.
Yeah, who knows? But guess we should get right into the basketball now that we covered all that.
Yeah, so as you can see by the title of today's video, we're going to do a NBA lottery preview. So as of right now, we've got the Rockets, Pistons, Timberwolves, Thunder, Cavs, Magic is kind of the top teams.
All the
right
bad
there
teams.
Yeah,
right?
those are the teams that are for sure just tanking right now. And the Raptors are a team that are really used to making the playoffs, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen this year. Maybe the play-in is still an option, but you got the Bulls right there. And the Magic could potentially end up with their pick if it's outside the top four, but we're going to talk about that more later. Let's talk about some of the crazy scenarios that could happen in the lottery this year. The first one being the Warriors owning the Timberwolves pick if it's 4 through 30, which is very possible at the moment.
Yeah, because they're really bad.
Yeah, and they're trying not to be bad right now, which is weird to me.
So, and lately they've been doing pretty well. They're one of those league pass teams. Like, they're actually really fun to watch.
A lot of offense, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of offense, and Anthony Edwards has been doing his thing lately. But as for the odds, if you're a Timberwolves fan, the worst nightmare is to fall past 4, right?
The fourth pick exactly would be
Yeah.
a nightmare because you can
Fourth
still
or longer.
you can still get a guy like Jalen Suggs, Jalen Green, Jonathan Kuminga, with that kind of pick, and those are potential all NBA guys from what I've seen. So that's a disaster. But for the Warriors case, what would you do if you're the Warriors? Would you make the pick or would you package it to compete for a championship?
This feels like last year. This happened last year when they took James Wiseman.
It hasn't worked out so far.
So far, the kid's only played 1 year, but we'll see how that works out. Honestly, it depends what I could get in a package. This is gonna sound, I know this is weird, but if I trade for or keep the pick and draft, either way, I'm looking in return, if I'm the Warriors, for a 2-guard.
For a 2-guard?
Because Klay Thompson is now on 2 back-to-back injuries, and I know he's a guy that might not rely on it a lot.
I'm just looking for a guard in general at the top.
Yeah, I guess a guard in general. But one thing that Klay Thompson isn't probably going, based on the odds, they say that he's not going to come back the defender that he used to be, and that was half his game. He's a great shooter. But
you can't blame him.
Yeah, no.
Two knee injuries will do that to you.
Of course not. So I think it's time that they go for that. Now, I guess if I'm the Warriors, I just go with, if I could get a Jalen Green or
I think Jalen Suggs for that team would be the best fit.
You think so?
Yeah, because Klay Thompson is still going to start.
Yeah.
And if you get some firepower off the bench in Jalen Suggs, I think that's probably the best fit. And the thing with Jalen Suggs is he doesn't have to have the ball in his hands to be effective. And that's why I think he's a great fit on the Warriors. And then, long term, I think eventually he takes Steph's spot but for right now, obviously, it's Steph's team, and that's not going to change for a long time.
Yeah.
So our next kind of crazy scenario here is the Thunder. As we know, they have like 30 draft picks over the next 7 years or something, like something crazy. But they have the potential to have 2 top 5 picks. Is it likely with odds? No, but it is possible because as it is right now, they own their pick, which is projected to be in the top 5 at like 3 or 4, I think, and then they own the Rockets pick if it's outside the top 4, correct?
Yep.
And then they own the Heat's pick, but they would get the best 2 out of those 3.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously the best 2 of those 3 are going to be the Rockets if they fall to 5 in the Thunder's pick.
What makes me feel good as a Thunder fan about this is it's the Rockets that we have to worry about here. It's not like a Lakers or a Knicks where we'd have to worry about possibly the league rigging it for them.
Yeah.
Like neither of us are huge markets that they really want to have a top pick. So, I mean, the chances are there. Like you said, you kind of showed me. I thought you kind of pointed out to me that the chances of the Rockets dropping in the lottery is way higher than I realized.
It was just under 48%, which is crazy.
That's like a 50-50 chance of, being a top
and you
pick
guys have over a 50% chance of having 2 top 5 picks. So it's really not a crazy scenario.
Yeah.
I would say not like a 50% chance, but I would give it like maybe 1/3 of the time you would get 2 top 5 picks in this scenario.
Yeah.
So yeah, that could be crazy. I mean, what do you think the Thunder do in that scenario?
If they end up with
2 top 5 picks.
I feel like, well, if it's the first pick, it's gonna be Cade. He's gonna be gone after that. But say it's like 2 and 4 or 2 and 5.
You obviously make the picks, right? You don't trade them. You make
we make the
when
picks.
It's top 5. Yeah.
It's Sam Presti, but he's only gonna trade them if it gets us future first round picks.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like if we ended up with 2 top 5 picks that weren't the first pick, it would be probably Evan Mobley, and then maybe like a safe guy in Kuminga or Suggs. The only one I don't see us taking is Jalen Green, which kind of sucks because he's like my favorite prospect in the draft.
You don't think you'd take him?
Because Shea's really thrived at the 2 guard, so I don't think they're going to take anybody who plans on moving him back to the 1.
I feel like it would work, but you never know.
I don't know, man. I guess my ideal situation would be Jalen Green, but if I'm based on what's going to happen, I would say Mobley and Suggs.
Mobley and Suggs.
Which is crazy to think that we can get both those guys.
Mobley won't be there at 5. Mobley is like a guaranteed top 3.
No, I know, but if we have 2 top 5 picks, one of them's probably going to be in the top 3. Unless it's 4 and 5.
Well, let me think here. So, do you think Suggs has potential to drop to 5? I guess that's possible now that I think about it. So you're talking
Suggs,
Mobley.
I can almost guarantee Suggs or Kuminga will be the 5th pick. One of the 2.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I guess it depends. But Jalen Green, I think, is the 3rd best prospect, and I think we're on the same page there.
Yeah. I mean, I'd love a Shea and Green backcourt, but I mean, things have come out, like, you don't know what to trust, but Royce Young, who's, like, one of the big reporters for the Thunder, has made multiple tweets about how Shea loves the 2 guard and doesn't want to play the point guard. It's kind of like a Anthony Davis situation where he wants to.
He can do it, but he'd rather play that other.
No, I don't think Shea's much of a diva to be like, no, I'm not going to play the point guard. So I think if it came down to it, sure it would happen. But if you're asking me to guess, I would say that Jalen Green won't happen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, in that case, I hope he goes to my Pistons.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that really quick. I didn't have that in the notes, but I feel like I want to talk about that because I think that's a perfect fit.
I do too.
Because he comes in right away and he's like a number 1 or 2 scoring option, which is what he does. He's a scorer.
The best situation for Jalen Green is to go somewhere where he can just his rookie year just get shots up, and he's not going to get shots up any more than Detroit.
There's no like realistic expectations of winning. Obviously, you're going to go every night and try your best to win, but there's no like, oh my God, he's got to be that guy now, and it won't be like that.
No one's going to take the ball out of Jalen Green's hands in Detroit.
Definitely not Hayes, who will
Hayes,
probably be his backcourt partner if it happens.
Is Jeremy even going to be there next year? Like,
I mean, he's under contract, so I guess I have to say yeah. I think he wants to be in Detroit. I think he's only like 26 and he's ready to build with what we have. And I think even he is excited about like the young prospects that we have. And then you add, a couple more this year, then,
But you think of a lineup of like Killian Hayes, Jalen Green, Sadiq Bey, Jeremy Grant, Isaiah Stewart. Like sounds like
it's exciting. I think we get probably 30 wins.
Yeah.
But I think the upside's a lot higher than any team we've had in the past, right?
Of course.
But yeah, I mean, I think unless, I mean, I don't think Jeremy Grant has the leverage to request a trade because it's been his first like really good year. But I think we're gonna be bad next year. He sticks it out, but that 2022 offseason we're gonna have cap space because Blake Griffin's contract will be gone, so we'll have max space.
Yeah.
I don't think we'll get a superstar, but we could get another like high quality player to put alongside him, and then those younger guys are in their second and third year. Then we're looking toward winning and competing for championships. So yeah, that was a little. We didn't mean to talk about that, but it's kind of exciting to think about what could be.
Yeah.
Our next crazy scenario is with the Orlando Magic. And it's really because of the Vucevic trade that they've looked to be winners so far.
I was going to talk about that when I first saw the Magic on here. It's starting out to look really good for them.
Right.
The emergence of a guy like... You look at the emergence of a guy like Cole Anthony, who's been playing well lately, and then they got a bunch of young guys who just need more, play time, and their roster's looking a little better, and on top of that, they're going to get another guy here in the top of the lottery, and hopefully. And with that said, Vucevic has not really led to a lot more wins for Chicago. They were beating the Celtics last time we were watching.
I really think it's a chemistry issue, and they obviously need some more pieces there.
It's just hard to add a guy that late in the year and to be like, okay, turn us into winners.
Yeah, that's fair. I think next season there's going to be a really realistic expectation of winning, and if they don't, I mean, what do you do from there? Like Zach LaVine is in his fourth season with the Bulls, and they still haven't made the playoffs, and then he becomes a free agent.
Kobe
and then
White
he
so
leaves.
far has
this
been
is
kind of disappointing.
Yeah. Yeah, there's just a lot of weird fits there that they got to figure out, but they do have cap space this summer. A little bit of cap space, that is, so maybe they can make some noise next season. But back to the Magic.
Yeah.
So obviously they have their own pick, which is projected 5 or 6 right now, and that can obviously move up or down. You never really know with the lottery. But that Bulls pick is top 4 protected, so they would get it anywhere from 5 to 30. It's theirs, which is obviously most likely with the Bulls sitting at 8.
Mm-hmm.
But again, if you're the Bulls, if it moves up into the top 4, you keep your pick, and then you've obviously got that mixture of young players, and then Vucevic and Zach LaVine, and that's a great scenario for them. But for the Magic, I really think they could use both of those picks.
For sure. The Magic did have those picks. What would their best pick be? Probably
I think Jalen Green again.
Jalen Green again?
It's not a point guard because you've got Cole Anthony, R.J. Hampton, and Markelle Fultz on the roster next year. So I think a combo guard is
I feel like the constant injuries to a guy like Jonathan Isaac could lead them to try to replace that with a Kuminga. I could see them taking a guy like Kuminga. But yeah, I mean, Jalen Green seems to fit on all these teams.
I think they look at, any of the top 5 prospects outside of Jalen Suggs would be a really good fit for the Magic.
Yeah.
Because I'm not sure. I don't think Wendell Carter is a guy that you can really build around and expect to win anytime soon. And if you get Evan Mobley in the draft, I mean, that obviously makes Wendell Carter expendable. Because I think
they still have Mo Bamba too.
Yeah, and I think Mobley comes in right away and is already better than
both
Wendell Carter and
Mo
Bamba.
Yeah,
exactly. So, yeah, there's a lot of scenarios there with the Magic, and if they can get I guess they could get 2 top 5 picks as well, and that would be crazy to start their rebuild. Obviously very unlikely, but you never know. It's the lottery. Anything can happen. And our last of the crazy scenarios is with the Raptors in their kind of weird season. I know they haven't got to play in Canada for obvious reasons.
Still in Tampa Bay, right?
Yeah, so they had to move to Tampa Bay, and it's been a really weird season with COVID. And they were one of those teams that have gotten destroyed by COVID and their protocols and stuff. So, I just wanted to imagine them getting a top 5 pick this year.
I can't remember the last time in my lifetime they had a top pick like that.
Since I watched the NBA, I haven't seen them have one.
Yeah.
Since DeRozan, I don't think they've had a very high pick.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing, obviously.
Yeah. But they could really take anybody here. I mean, I guess they have Lowry and Van Vliet, but I don't know what the future is with Lowry at this point. Is this another Jalen Green scenario?
I think it's either a guard or a center.
Yeah.
Preferably Mobley or any of the 3 guards projected in the top 4 or so.
I think it's just time for them to rebuild, man. Like, they got their championship and they made a lot of sacrifices to get that. Sometimes the key to winning a championship is to put together a great one-year roster that falls apart after that. Mm-hmm. And I think that might be a bit of what they did. So, just that they need a top pick here.
I tend to disagree in terms of the rebuild because I think next year the season is going to be normal. It's going to be 82 games. They're going to be back in Canada, and then they're going to have what could be a top 5 pick or at least a top 10 pick. Mm-hmm. And you pair whoever it is. If it's Cade Cunningham, obviously that's best case scenario. You pair him with Fred VanVleet, proven winner. Pascal Siakam, proven winner. OG, Chris Boucher, Gary Trent Jr. That's a playoff team.
Oh yeah.
So I would disagree in terms of the rebuild for sure.
So, do you think there's a chance they could maybe trade their pick if it ends up being top 5?
No, not in this year's draft because those guys in the top 5 are just
play now.
Really elite. I tend to be higher on that top 5 than a lot of people are.
Yeah.
Like I think that's potential to be
one of the better drafts.
Yeah, like all NBA guys, all 5 of them.
All 5 of them.
After that, I think it's a pretty big drop off, to be honest.
Oh.
So.
Okay.
I mean, that's not. I'm of the majority though, of thinking after the top 5, it's a pretty big drop off.
Yeah. I also want to mention this is kind of off this subject, but since we were talking about the draft in general, I think he's been in a few of our videos. Obviously, there was bad news about Terrence Clark. Mm-hmm. I just wanted to say rest in peace to him.
Yeah, we haven't been able to talk about it since that happened.
And that's
really sad.
That's really bad. Really just a bad situation. But
projected first-round pick, his life was about to...
Yeah. So hopefully we see some. I heard there's rumors that the Celtics might still draft him later in the round so his family can get the money because they've done that in the past. I think it's actually the Celtics that did it with...
Really? That'd be really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, so that would be awesome to see. But on a lighter note, any other teams you want to talk about here?
I kind of just wanted to talk about I wanted to talk about Cade Cunningham because obviously he's the crown jewel of this.
Yeah.
Of this draft. I think in almost every scenario he goes number 1. Who do you think needs Cade Cunningham the most?
I'm looking at these teams. Probably the Rockets.
Rockets.
John Wall is clearly not the answer for the now or the future. Either the Rockets or maybe Cleveland. I know Sexton's really good, but like, as I mentioned before, he's more.
I mean, I think Detroit needs him too.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I was gonna say that, but I didn't know how you felt about Killian as the future.
I only say that because I know they can play together.
Hey man, if Shea wants to play the two, then I'll say OKC. Well, we're at it. I mean, it's Cade Cunningham. He fits all these teams.
Yeah.
The only ones that wouldn't really make a lot of sense are like the Kings or the Grizzlies.
Grizzlies might. Well, the Grizzlies have no shot at the first pick.
No.
It's like 0.5% chance. I've got the lottery odds up here, actually.
Yeah, so, bring them up.
Yeah, if anybody's curious how the lottery works, so the top 3 picks.
Shout out Tankathon.
Yeah, Tankathon is always coming up clutch for me. Like, I'm on here almost every day because I'm a draft junkie. But so the top 3 picks have the same odds at the number 1 pick at 14%, which is way down from what it used to be at like 25% is what the top one had. So in this case, the top 3 have the same chance at the top pick, and then
by the way,
it's the same.
I think that's like
the first 4, I guess.
I think that's the greatest thing the NBA's done in a while was that rule, because it just makes it. It was so stupid when teams could just lose out, and have the highest chance. But
Sixers.
But yeah, looking at these chances, Houston has the best chance right now?
Well, it's tied for first with Detroit and Minnesota.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
And I honestly think your Thunder leapfrogged the Minnesota Timberwolves at 3.
Out of all the teams we're looking at, Houston or they have a low chance, but Houston or Chicago would probably be in the best need of Cade.
Chicago.
I
would disagree.
I don't think Kobe White's the answer.
I think like teams that are desperate for a combo guard are Houston, Detroit, and I don't know what Cleveland's doing. I don't even want to talk about Cleveland. It's just hard. It's just a hard franchise to talk about because when LeBron's not there, they're just so irrelevant.
It's funny. We went to that Cleveland Wizards game, and they were doing.
And we're saying this because we have experience at watching the Cavs. It's atrocious.
And they did really well in that first half, and then they just got blown out. Apparently, that's like a reoccurring theme for them. Like they start out really well. Like their last like 8 out of their last 10 losses, they were tied, ahead, or only down by 3 going into the half. And then they just get blown out in the second half. I don't know what's going on there.
I think it's a culture thing.
You think so?
I think when LeBron's not there, they lack identity
and
what they really want to do. Like, you can get all these top picks, but if you don't have this culture that everybody can buy into, I don't think you're ever going to reach anything near playoff or championship level.
Don't forget, though, it's not just that they sucked before LeBron came. There's a reason they got LeBron in the first place.
Exactly. Yeah.
They hadn't been good before LeBron. They weren't good since like Mark Price.
Yeah, exactly. Outside of, besides the Mark Price and Brad Daugherty era, which was pretty good.
Yeah.
And the LeBron era,
Hilo,
they're always in the top 5 in worst teams.
Yeah. Yeah, they're in a weird situation, so yeah, it'd be great for them to have a guy like Cade. I'm gonna stick with Houston though. I think Houston.
You pair him with John Wall maybe for a little while.
You don't pair him with anybody. There's nobody there.
Well, then what do you do with Kevin Porter Jr. then? Because he's been pretty good.
Well, KPJ's a 2 or a 3. I mean, Cade.
Because you're not trading John Wall right now. That contract's too big.
Sometimes you just gotta swallow the pill and bench him. I don't know if that's possible, but I don't know.
If you tank next year, he can just pull an Al Horford and sit on his couch for the second half, save his energy for next season.
Yeah.
What do you think is the best team for Evan Mobley to go to?
Interesting.
I think it's... Honestly, I think Minnesota pairing him with Karl-Anthony Towns would be pretty cool.
So he would be at the 4, or Carl would be at the 4?
Mobley, but I think he would guard centers.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense.
Because he can protect the rim unlike Karl-Anthony Towns. And that kind of hides what Karl-Anthony Towns can't do.
I'd love to see Mobley on the yeah, like you said, the Wolves, but I'd really like to see him on the Kings too. But their chances aren't as high to get him.
Okay, I got a good one.
Okay.
What if he goes to the Raptors? And okay,
He would play right
here's
away.
this hypothetical scenario I'm thinking of here. You re-sign Lowry with your bird rights. You got Fred VanVleet back. You got OG at the 3, Pascal at the 4, and then Evan Mobley at the 5.
Yeah, I mean that's probably a playoff team.
And then off the bench, you got Gary Trent Jr. and Chris Boucher. That's like 1 through 7. That's one of the best teams in the NBA.
Yeah, that's crazy. I was about to say.
That's what I've been saying. That's why I don't think they should rebuild.
Yeah, they have a lot of good players. Because I was gonna say, why would Gary Trent not start at the 3? But then I remembered they have OG Anunoby too. So that's quite a team.
That's what you get when you draft well. And
Yeah.
Malachi Flynn's another guy too. That's pretty good.
I think I'd have to agree with either the Raptors or. See, the thing about a lot of these top teams, like the Pistons or the Thunder, the Rockets, is they're so bad because they don't have a lot of good players, so all these guys can fit.
There's just best player available.
There's no
at
one.
that point,
There's
yeah.
no one where you're like, oh, he can't play there. But yeah, best fit is probably the Raptors now.
Yeah, this weird season for the Raptors might be a blessing in disguise.
You think so?
I really do. I think if they get in the top 5, that raises their ceiling by a pretty large margin.
Chance very high on the Raptors.
I am. I've always been high on the Raptors. Even when they were losing LeBron, it's like, well, maybe LeBron leaves, they can win a championship.
Yeah, maybe LeBron.
And look what happened. I mean, they got Kawhi. That helped for sure.
Now,
Fired Coach Dwayne Casey as well.
Here's one. So, say you're the Lakers, right?
Mm.
And the Toronto Raptors offer you 2 first-round picks and Chris Boucher for LeBron James. LeBron goes to the Raptors.
Oh my!
I mean, hey, LeBronto was a real thing, so like.
Just requested traded LeBron.
Imagine how good he'd be in that arena. Yeah.
If they got fans back, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Let's pair these up. What do you think is the best fit for Jalen Suggs and Jonathan Kuminga?
I think Jalen Suggs. I want to go back to what you said about the Warriors. It's a really good fit because I don't know. Is he a guy that'll start right away? Do you think?
On the Warriors?
No. Just in general, like.
On any team that could potentially be in the top 5 besides the Warriors, he would start right away.
So the Warriors probably is the best fit for Suggs, or any team but the Magic, really.
The Thunder.
The Thunder is another team. I keep wanting to not say that, but I got to be honest. Like, I'd love
That's
that.
a great fit. I'll be honest too. I think he fits the culture as well.
Yeah, I'd love that backcourt. And then for Kuminga, like I said earlier, the Magic, or
move Jonathan Isaac to, I think, what is his natural position at the 4.
Yeah, I think the Magic or maybe the T-Wolves, because the T-Wolves need a lot of defense. I feel like they need that defensive culture. So they put up a lot of points.
I'm at the 4. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
I feel like the Rockets could use them too.
Yeah, the Rockets could use anybody that knows how to dribble.
Could use anyone that's out of the womb.
Yeah, that's why I didn't say that, because I was going
Cleveland could use them too, but I feel bad for anybody that goes to Cleveland.
Yeah. Who are you, Joakim Noah?
Yeah, I've been hating on the Cavs, but since I went to Cleveland, I have respect for Browns fans.
Yeah, non-Cavs fans, they're kind of losers.
Yeah.
No.
Easy there. We'll lose one of our 7 fans.
Yeah.
Better watch out.
Yeah, then we'll only have 6.
But I mean, I think that wraps up our NBA lottery preview.
Yeah, I mean, there'll be more to talk about after the lottery, so that we can stop saying they get this pick.
Yeah, I am way too excited about that.
Me too. Every year I am, and then every year it kind of disappoints me. But as of right now, I'm very excited.
Yep. So yeah, we'll see what happens the last 5 or 6 games of the year. But if you did enjoy, leave us in a comment what you thought about the video. Drop a like, subscribe to the channel. Maybe you can be one of the first 50, and then once we blow up, you'll be like, hey, I'm an OG. I've been here since 50 subscribers.
Yeah.
But yeah, that'll be it for today's video, and we'll see you all next time.
Yeah, all right, we'll see you guys. Thanks for listening.